Let's talk about recipe books. There are so many kinds out there, electronic, hard copies, but I needed one that was going to work for my kind of kitchen. And so this is the idea and the book that I ended up with. Now, to be totally honest, this isn't entirely my idea. This is actually an idea my mom had. When I was a young girl, she gave me a hard school book and said, cut out any recipes you find in magazines or that people give you and paste them into this book. And so I've carried along a book like that for some time now. It was a mix of recipes I'd never made, baking and cooking and all kinds of random things, and it was starting to be hard to actually find recipes. And so for a while I was just keeping printed recipes in a folder, intending to get to this book and sorting it out. It is high time to get organized. And so I ordered myself some Amazon supplies, 2 black hardcover books, some double-sided tape, plastic to laminate the outside so it would actually keep, and then some tabs just in case I was going to organize that way. Basically what these recipe books have to accomplish for me is be a hard copy. I know there are all kinds of apps and things. I prefer a hard copy. I also need a book that is going to be self-sustainable and actually work in a working kitchen. So sometimes I'm printing recipes, sometimes I'm writing them in, or having space for recipes that people write to me, which are so lovely, handwritten cards, or some passed down from my grandma that I can print off and paste in there. And I'm always adding more. So it needs to be a book that can actually work for something like that. It needs to be one for baking and another one for cooking. I can't do a binder. I know there are fancy binders out there, and it just makes sense that you can organize and move things around because the clips in the middle make that really simple. Totally. I understand all of that. Binders just aren't for me. It feels too schooly. I like the feel of just a book, like a recipe book, except that's kind of tricky to make when you're working on something that is continually evolving. I also wanted it to look pretty, and so basically I just gave you a long list of things that are pretty hard to squish into one. But I've thought about it, I've taken Mom's idea and then made some other kind of tweaks to make this work for me. So let me share with you the book that I ended up with. Now these 2 black hard books will be my recipe books. I can write in them, there are lines, but I can also paste in some recipes. And so I started organizing all of the recipes that I currently have. It's pretty hard to organize a book like this because one section for meats or another section for cookies and muffins. It would just be too hard to organize it that way. I don't know if I'll have more soup recipes. Maybe I will. How much room do I leave for more soup recipes? And so what I came up with is just to have 2 categories per book. So for the front of the cooking book, I'm dedicating my main dishes. So these are like the standout meals, or one-hit wonders like a lasagna or a roast or a brisket, whatever kind of big meals. I'm putting that in the front, and then I'm reserving the back as a space for side dishes or maybe some kind of little salty kind of snacks, things that are just a bit lighter and not really classified as a big meal, but it is not sweet, it's still salty. Now for the baking book, I'm dedicating the front of the book to all of my baking recipes, cookies, cakes, basically any sweet treats. And then I'm dedicating the back of the book to get inspired to get onto this big project. I wanted the outside of the books to look nice and something that would inspire me to cook and bake. And so I took to some magazines, clipped out some little letters to make the titles of my books. And then I ordered some adhesive to put over top of the book so that it would keep. Now the first adhesive I ordered wasn't exactly what I was looking for, so I put in a second order, and that may or may not arrive before the end of this video, but if it doesn't, I'm going to use some kind of plastic to cover the outside of the book. That way my titles and my images will stay put and preserved on this book for many years to come. And then I spent quite a lot of time cutting and pasting recipes. I know that this is a lot of work up front, but already just this week I have quickly grabbed the book and I didn't have to go paging through my notebook where I scribbled a quick recipe in a flash somewhere. But it's in this book and relatively easy for me to find. I don't need to go digging too hard. I was spending too much time paging through my Pinterest looking for a recipe that I pinned, or paging through my papers that I've kept in this folder looking for the recipes that I know I love and have made in the past but can't find. So it was high time to just get to making this book. Now I'm keeping a folder aside for some of the recipes that I think I love that I haven't tried yet. I don't want to just paste recipes in these books. I want these to be recipes that I have loved and tried and know that are good. And so I'm keeping a little folder here just in case I want to come back to these and try them later. I'm also keeping my grandma's recipes here because I'd like to give those a try before I put them into this book for good. What I really love about this book is that I can put in some of the recipe cards that people have given me, and it's got their handwritten letters in there, which are so sweet, and the cards are characters in themselves. It's all just beautiful memories pasted into this book. Now what was a really big help is double-sided tape. This is gonna save a lot of time, and so I highly recommend getting some double-sided tape. And I'm going to link some supplies in the description box if you just want a quick little link to get to Amazon and order that. Now I hope that you have found this very helpful. I have been looking for some kind of idea like this for a long time, and I don't really see it out there, and so I hope that this can be helpful to you. And if you do make a book like this, I would love to hear about it, and if you have any other suggestions, tips, or tricks, please share them with us here in the comment section. I'd like to learn from you, and I'm sure other people in this community would also like to learn. Thank you for stopping by, and if you like content like this, would you consider subscribing to this channel and sticking around for the upcoming content? Okay, see you, bye.